In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a front wheel bearing and hub on a Honda CR-V. It's located behind the front wheel. After you raised and supported your vehicle safely, you have 5 lug nuts. These are 19mm lug nuts. You need to remove those. Take your wheel off, put it off to the side. It's time to remove your caliper with the bracket. These are 2 19mm bolts. One here and one at the bottom. You can take a hook like this, slide it off your rotor. You can hook it up to your strut, that way it's out of your way. After you've taken your caliper and hung it out of the way, it's time to take your rotor off. We do not have your 2 screws here that hold the rotor to the hub, so you can just pull that right off, put that off to the side. After removing your rotor, you're going to have a backing plate here. We do not have ours rotted off. So let's continue on. Now it's time to take your speed sensor out. That is a 10mm bolt. Remove that. Put that off to the side. Now over to your outer tie rod. You have a pin. You want to take that out. This nut is a 17mm nut. Remove that. Now you can install your tie rod removal tool. Take that, put that off to the side. Now it's time to take your axle nut off. This is pinned over here, so you want to take a punch and undo that. This way it doesn't ruin the threads when you remove the nut. That is a 36mm nut. Make sure your axle moves freely in and out. Now it's time to take out your 2 strut mount bolts, 19mm bolt with a 22mm nut. You can take your nut, twist it back on, and then you can tap it with the hammer here without ruining your threads. You can also take your wrench, slide it into the back here, put some pressure on it, and walk your bolt out. Remove your knuckle from your strut, push your axle in, take your axle out of the knuckle, put that off to the side. You can support it with a tie. That way it's up and out of the way. Now it's onto your bottom where your ball joint bolts onto your control arm. You have 1 17mm bolt, 2 17mm nuts. Take your knuckle, slide it up towards you, and remove it. We're over at the press. What you want to do first is press your hub out of your bearing. So if you set it up like this, put some pressure to it, and you see how the hub is moving. After you remove your hub from your bearing, you're going to have a C-clip in here. You need to remove that. You can use C-clip pliers like this and see if it will move, which this one is not. So now you're going to have to put some heat to it and try it that way. And after putting a little bit of heat to it, that's your snap ring. Now it's time to remove your bearing from your knuckle. I'm using a tool for that. We're going to push the bearing out that way. This tool goes into this side here. It's the same size as the bearing. This cup is going to fit over this section of your knuckle so it can catch the bearing when it comes out. Now let's press that bearing out. Remove your tool. And there's your old bearing. Now's the time to inspect your knuckle to make sure there's no cracks or burrs. Clean it out real good. This one looks good. Take some lube. This is only going to help you put the new bearing in easier. And let's get ready to install the bearing. Once you have your bearing started into your knuckle, you want to tighten your tool down and press that bearing in. Once your bearing is bottomed out, now it's time to put your C-clip on. Squeeze your C-clip, make sure it goes in the ridge. Once your C-clip is in its ridge, now it's time to put the hub on. Take your hub, line it up onto your bearing. Now install your hub onto your bearing. Make sure your hub spins freely and it's tight. Let's get ready to put this knuckle back on the vehicle. Install your knuckle back onto your control arm. These are your two 17mm nuts and one 17mm bolt. Then you want to torque those down at 38 foot-pounds. Now you can install your axle, take your tie off, lift up on the knuckle, slide your axle through, install your nut. Now what you want to do is you want to get your knuckle into your strut. Lift it up. Take your knuckle, lift it up, slide it into the strut. Install your bolts. Snug those. And those get torqued down at 116 foot-pounds. Tighten your axle nut. Take your ABS speed sensor. Install it into your knuckle. 10mm bolt, and you want to torque that down to 7 foot-pounds. Now onto your outer tie rod. Install that into the knuckle. Give that a tighten. That gets torqued down to 40 foot-pounds. Now for your cotter pin, slide it through the hole, bend it down, push it off to the side. Now install your rotor. This rotor has bolts that hold it to the knuckle. Ours are missing, so what you can do is just take a lug nut, that way it stays straight. Take your caliper, slide it over your rotor. Make sure your hose is nice and straight and it's not kinked. Install your two 19mm bolts. Snug them up. And those get torqued down to 101 foot-pounds. Remove your lug nut. Now let's torque that axle nut. Now it's time to torque the nut. You can do this one of two ways. You can have a friend sit in the driver's seat, put their foot on the brake so this rotor doesn't move. Or you can do it this way. Take a pry bar, put it underneath the two lug nuts, take your torque wrench, 242 foot-pounds, and torque your nut. After you torque your nut, you're going to see this little slot right here. Take a punch, peen your nut over. That way the nut doesn't back off. Take your wheel, slide it over your lug nut studs. Install your lug nuts by hand. Give those a snug. After you load your vehicle and your tires on the ground, you want to torque these lug nuts at 80 foot-pounds. You want to do that in a star pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.